Hi everyone! We're here to watch episode 7 of season 6 of Pretty Little Liars. We have our wine. Hanna has her large wine glass.
Woohoo!
We're really excited. We hope this is a really good episode. We're getting close to the finale. Just want to apologize for having a few technical difficulties, hence the missing season 6 episode 6 video. We love seeing all your comments, so we're really excited to have you see the next couple videos. So without further ado, episode 7. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Alright, we got our dairy-free ice cream on our gluten-free cones with rainbow sprinkles, and we're ready for piano! Yay!
Pretending to be Charles. She'd only heard Charles' name once. The night that Bethany snuck out of Bradley and never came back. Charles snuck out that night too.
If you keep this up.
Alright, so we just watched 607. Good episode.
Really good episode.
Yeah, a lot happened. Whew. Lots of intense stuff. Overall thoughts?
I just have so many questions. But that's good. This is a good one because I feel like I have a lot of questions after the good ones.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's start at the beginning.
Yep.
Jason gets an invite to Charles's birthday party.
Right. Even before that, though, Mr. De Laurentiis takes Allie out of town.
Right. So it's like Mr. De Laurentiis was invited first, and then, like, did Charles catch wind that he was, like, not into it and then invited Jason, or did he really want both of them to come?
Good question. I'm not entirely sure that... I just lost my train of thought. That Charles told Mr. D about the arcade birthday party, because that card just said, like, I'm coming home for my birthday, it'll be a night to die for, or something like that.
Yeah.
It didn't say where to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Mr. De Laurentiis was right to be scared, especially now that he, can tell. I assume that when he dug up the grave, there was nothing there, so
Yeah.
he knows that Charles is alive.
Yeah.
But that was kind of shitty to, like, take Allie out of town and just, like, leave Jason.
I know. He was
Weird.
kind of like, you're not my biological son.
What a douche.
He was so sweaty, too. Can we talk about how sweaty he was?
Yeah, he was. He must have been digging really hard.
Yeah, he came, like, straight from digging.
Yeah. I mean, digging, like, a 6-foot deep hole by yourself, I'd probably get pretty sweaty, too.
Yeah.
Gosh, so much happened. I'm, like, having a hard time
I
remembering
know.
what happened. Let's
Okay,
see.
Hanna gets the scholarship money.
Right. Do you think that the money is from Charles? Like, it's from
I
A?
do. I think that makes sense because we know that what are they called? The
Karasimi
group. We know that they're associated with the closure of Radley.
Right.
I mean, that's not a coincidence. And we know that A has all this money, so it makes sense that this corporation would be like a front for all of A's money.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jessica, this was like one of her favorite charities or whatever, maybe she over the years has been like putting money into this fund and it's always been meant for Charles.
That would make sense. He just seemingly has, like, unlimited assets. Like, I don't understand where all of this money is coming from. $30,000?
I hope they explain that. I hope they give a reason to that other than just, like, Jessica was saving money for him. Or...
Right. I mean, I know that Hanna being able to pay for college has been a storyline on the show, but I also don't understand, like, why Hanna? $30,000 to one of the girls? That seems really sketchy to me.
Yeah.
And then when Ashley was like, I already deposited it, I'm like, no.
Like, of course she did, though.
This is no good. What else happened with Hanna in this episode? Oh, she performed minor surgery on all of the girls.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
Oh, it's so weird. Aria.
Ugh.
Oh, more dolls. It's just
She's
so
weird.
many dolls
Like,
with this
why?
girl. Nice to see the return of Mike. Haven't seen him in a while.
They both wore a lot of denim. They were like Justin and Brittany at that one VMAs.
Yes. What do
They
they
were
call
like
that?
the sibling version.
Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Mike and Mona are back together. I want both of them to be happy. I just hope that that doesn't drag Mike into any funny business.
Yeah. Because we both think Mona is still up to some funny business.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think she's lying to the liars. I don't think she's doing it maliciously. I think she's trying to protect them or protect some piece of information that she has that she wants to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that that doesn't backfire like her staging her own death backfired.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all know how much we love Mona.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened with Aria?
She got the letter from the
Oh, right.
photography,
finalist,
whatever,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
That was some quick turnaround. She just applied like yesterday.
It's like, no one wants to see pictures of your doll. Sorry. Do you think that was A's doing?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
When she first got the letter, I thought maybe she was going to get a scholarship too.
I know,
and I
me
thought all
too.
the girls were going to get
Me
scholarships.
too, until I saw who it was from.
Yeah. Interestingly, we didn't see Ezra at all in this episode.
It's because he was planning his birthday party.
Yeah, exactly. He was busy in Sherwood.
That's kind of how it was last time he was A. He's like scattered throughout the episodes, and then he kind of just disappears.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Spencer got gummy bears from...
Sabrina.
Yeah.
And Toby was tripping fucking
Oh my
balls.
god. This was like Toby's performance of a lifetime. Like, he really had to psych himself up for this one.
Speaking of sweaty dudes.
Oh my god. I can see him like sitting there at home watching like so many YouTube videos of like, what does a really high person look like? and just sitting there like staring at them all day, practicing in the mirror.
He probably watched like Reefer Madness. Have you seen that movie?
Or like Requiem for a Dream or something.
Yes.
Like, he was legit
Tripping.
like dying.
Yeah. I've never like OD'd on edibles.
But like, do you turn purple?
I don't think so. I don't know. That was so bizarre. It was like he was tripping.
Yeah.
I know you can have really bad reactions, but whoa, that was really weird. He also looked like he had super bloodshot eyes, and I'm like, does that still happen when you don't smoke it?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
You should ask Ben.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Oh my god, when he says to Lorenzo, he's like, let's just not do our jobs for the night.
We should go check out what's going on at Wallaby Avenue. Like, wasn't Lorenzo why are we going to this very specific street?
And then when he was like, we don't have to tell anybody. Well, clearly Lorenzo and I think differently, but if I was Lorenzo, I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, are you trying to get me to lose my job? I just got here, and I'm like one of 2 black guys. Why are you trying to get me fired? I mean, I'm shocked that Toby didn't get fired. What's he gonna do? Just like sit in that conference room
think he's
for
gonna.
like 12 hours until the effects wear off, and then he's just gonna be like, okay, I'm going home now, guys.
No, I kind of think that he's gonna be drug tested.
Like nobody's gonna find him?
Yeah.
Ay. He's probably paranoid out of his mind.
Yeah.
Moving on. Also no Caleb in this episode.
That is true.
Heavy on the Toby.
They talked about Caleb, though.
Yeah. Toby was at a police seminar.
Yeah, like whatever that is.
They're probably like, these are handcuffs. Have you seen these
Right.
before?
We understand you made it onto the force in under 2 weeks, so we just thought we'd give you a little refresher.
Oh my god, it's too funny. Alright, moving on to Emily.
No, I can't even talk about Emily.
Whoa. She was
like psycho.
super intense. When they met at that dessert place where they basically just like ate cookies, and she was like, no, you can't leave. You can't do that. And she was like so jealous. I'm like,
I don't understand. She was never like that with her other girlfriends.
No.
And Sarah is like not that cool.
No.
Like,
not at all.
What is there about her that makes Emily...
I have no idea.
I mean, she's just like annoying, and there's like nothing redeeming about her personality.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. And Emily's like insane over her.
I know. I think Emily's coping mechanism is just like externalizing her anxieties and her trauma like outwards. If she is dealing with somebody else's trauma, then she doesn't have to deal with her own. And so she's just really latched on to Sarah because Sarah is more damaged than she is. So Emily can like focus on her and not have to deal with her own stuff. But I'm like, girl, like take a deep breath. Like just chill. Sarah is not the end all be all.
Doesn't Paige come back after the jump? Didn't I hear that?
I thought so, but it was because Marlene Instagrammed a picture of herself writing something and it said Paige. And so I thought that was Pretty Little Liars, but the new show she's writing has a character named Paige.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's possible she'll come back.
But if Sarah's back, too. That's another thing. We talked about, and I've seen on Twitter, the possibility of Sarah being Bethany or Sarah not being Sarah.
Right.
But now that she's spent time with her friend...
Right.
And she's going over to a friend's house, seeing her friend's parents. It's kind of like, well, I don't know how they'd explain that one if she's not really Sarah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that she could be on the A-team, but as Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely thought that it was a possibility that Sarah was Bethany. I still have a hard time getting over the misidentified body situation. But the more we've seen that A, like, forges documents and, like, creates things out of the blue, I think it's very possible that autopsy report could have just gotten swapped, and so they said Bethany's name when really it wasn't her. So I'm not as convinced that Bethany is dead as I was before. I still think it's very likely, especially after reading Heather Hogan's recap of last week's episode. I was like, whoa, this could really be something that Sarah is Bethany, and Bethany and Charles are working together, but it doesn't seem like it after this episode. But I agree, it's very possible that it's like a Stockholm situation where Sarah just was there for so long that she and Charles like bonded. I mean, she has been super sketchy and like...
yeah, she's been nothing but sketchy.
Yeah. A lot of people thought that the reason why she like made out with Emily at the end of the last episode was because she didn't want Emily to be looking for her tracker, so she like was trying to distract her. It's possible. So Sarah left. I'm sure we haven't seen the last of her, but I was so happy that she was gone.
Yeah.
Whew.
Go shower at someone else's house.
Amen, sister. Pam Fields is probably like, oh, thank the fucking Lord, my water
Seriously.
bill. Allison. Back to her old ways of drugging people's drinks. You can take the girl out of Rosewood, but you can't take the drugging people out of the girl. You know, Allie has been really different this season. Like,
oh, yeah.
She's been through a lot. She's not nearly as, like, fierce and manipulative as she used to be. And, I mean, I guess it's possible that that's an act, but I really don't think so. I think it's just becoming clear that the Allison from before was an act. Yeah. Like, she had so much...
maturing.
Yeah, and, like, she had so much shit going on. She was just, like, externalizing it and really turning it on other people. And now she has, like, kind of figured out who she is more.
Yeah.
But, like, when that girl wants to get something done, like, she gets shit done. And I like that about her. Mr. D, angry as usual. Oh, Jason.
Poor Jason.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they all had just left him be.
I know. I mean, I understand that they're worried for him, but, like, you know, the girls are the ones who have really been tortured, but I can imagine that this is incredibly difficult for him because it's a big loss. And, I mean, I would imagine that some of the drinking and the drug use that we know that he went through for years and years has probably a lot to do with feeling really kind of ostracized from his family and just feeling like all these memories that he had were like not real. And I wish he had been able to like kind of reunite with Charles. I really don't know how that scene would have gone down.
I know. Well, we talked
curious.
about, like, what were Charles's intentions?
Yeah.
Like, did he bring him there just to talk? I mean, it seemed like from the end, and we'll go to the note that he left in the attic for Jason to pick up, like, I trusted you. It kind of seems like Charles wanted to have a legitimate heart-to-heart with Jason.
Yeah.
So
I think that's very possible. I just don't know how...
Like, where would it go from there?
Right. And it's like, on the one hand, it seems like Charles kind of meticulously plans, or kind of meticulously plans and figures out what the next step is. But then sometimes it seems like he just, like, gets overcome by emotion and, like, all plans go out the window. Yeah. Like at the dollhouse when the girls were escaping. It's like, you know, as soon as there's a problem in the plan, it's like the plan just disappears. Yeah. And so maybe that was the situation where he thought it through to a certain point, and then it was like, what happens next? Yeah, that was sad. I'm sure Jason is, like, heartbroken.
Well, can we talk about the arcade? I mean, just the whole thing. Like, when Jason was So he gets the arcade.
Yeah.
And right away we're kind of like, okay, this is probably somewhere they went as kids.
Yeah, definitely.
And we talked about this earlier today with the screenshots. The figure that we see, the A figure, seems to us like a slim male.
Yeah, or like even a girl.
Maybe, but it would be like a tall girl.
Right, like it couldn't be Arya. It wasn't that small.
It would have been like Spencer, but we know it's not Spencer.
Or like Sarah. Is Sarah tall?
Yeah, Sarah seems tall.
I mean, she did leave Rosewood.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's terribly likely,
Yeah.
but that was not an Ezra body type, an Andrew body type, like, at all.
Yeah.
Not that I think it's Andrew, but you know what I mean. Like, the build was wrong for that.
So is it just not the actor, or I don't know, maybe was that not Charles? Charles sent a decoy.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, Charles sent a member of the A-team to, like...
Just in case.
Yeah, to, like, kind of test Jason.
Yeah.
We see that he thought that the liars were all at Spencer's. But you never know with these people. Like, the cops show up, like, this happens, something goes crazy, and so I can understand him being really hesitant.
Totally. So yeah, basically everything that could go wrong for Jason did go wrong.
Yes.
Every single character in the entire show pretty much ruined this family reunion. So sad. It was like we just had that one moment where it's like maybe, and then no, just everyone shows up and just destroys it. So Allie called 911, so the cops showed up.
Well, the cops showed up at her house. And then they find the invitation.
Okay, so it was Toby and Lorenzo showed up. Those were the cops who showed up, but Toby was out of his mind.
Right.
So he was just, like, in a fun house.
Right.
And then the girls show up.
Right.
And there's guns, and there's the baseball machine that like... shoots, like, at the speed of light. And then there's, like, all this, like, scaffolded, like, these poles. Like, what were the poles?
I don't know.
These poles, like, pouring down.
Oh, my God.
It was like Charles had rigged the arcade, like, just in case something like this happened.
Like, he, like, turned
like,
into,
all the
like,
lights
booby
came
trap
on.
central.
Yeah, it was, like, it was crazy.
Oh, my gosh.
So, obviously, then Charles gets away. So he can go and set up this, like, old-timey film camera in the De Laurentiis attic.
Yeah, he made it to the De Laurentiis house like that.
Yeah. Ooh. So, maybe that was a Charles decoy, and Charles was setting up the camera in the De Laurentiis
And the
attic.
decoy was like, yo, the cops showed up.
Yeah.
And he was like, I couldn't trust you.
Yeah, I trusted you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good thinking. Okay, so after the fun house...
The fun house.
Oh, yeah, arcade.
I mean, it was.
It was. There's a little bit of the girls, and then there's, like, the Spencer-Toby scene.
Oh, my God. Toby's crowning moment as an actor. I honestly didn't know what was going on for, like, a solid minute when he just wasn't talking. I was like, is he just, like, he doesn't want to talk to her, or is something, like, wrong with him?
He, like, couldn't speak. And then we see A in A's lair.
Wait, we have to go into the attic.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting. Yeah.
This is, like, one of the most important parts of the show.
Totally. Go for it.
So, Allie walks into the house, and Jason's, like, about to take a drink, and she's like, no, don't. Charles is not worth it. You don't want to break your sobriety over this. Yeah. And then,
Good sister.
they're, so they're talking, and then something interrupts them. And it's a little boy's voice, and he says, Jason, come play with me.
Yeah.
And we were both like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah.
So they run up to the attic, and then A's signature old-timey film camera, it was playing this movie, and both Allie and Jason immediately recognized where they were.
Second cousin Freddie's
birthday party that they were pulled out of school to attend, and Jessica told them not to tell their dad. Right. So we hear Charles being called Freddie by Jessica, assuming that this is like, we don't want anyone to know what his real identity is, so we're calling him Freddie. Right.
He says, like, do I have to go back soon? And she's like, no, not for a while.
And he seems like a normal kid in the video. He's like playing. He's excited to play with Jason and Allie. It seems like he knows them. Yeah. We kind of talked about who this kid does or doesn't look like. Yeah. I personally don't think this kid looks anything like Wren. I don't know if that, I mean, I know that they're very liberal with their choice of child actors, but
Hashtag Malcolm wasn't white. Sorry.
Yeah, seriously. I don't think there's any way in any universe this kid could have grown up to look how Wren looks now.
Yeah.
I think he looked a lot like Ezra in the face. I mean, I know that I'm biased because I strongly believe Ezra is Charles, but I really think that kid looked like Ezra in the face. I know he had blonde hair. I mean, it's possible they are going to explain that Ezra dyes his hair to conceal his identity. I don't know.
I mean, some people's hair just gets darker as they
Yeah,
get
the hair
older.
thing doesn't really throw me off that much.
Yeah.
I had very blonde hair when I was little too, so I don't know. That was like a really good part of the episode. I liked seeing that.
Yeah. And then we see the A tag, where A has a big old gift, and the card says...
Happy birthday from your friend and ally, in very feminine handwriting.
Yes. I think ally is a very interesting choice of words. It's fairly close to Allison.
It is, but...
I mean, I don't think she said
no.
I just thought that was an interesting choice.
Well, I mean, to me, it's like, obviously, ally is like, I'm on your side, like, we're working toward the same goal.
Yeah.
But I don't know who on the show would be working toward the same goal as Charles.
I mean, Leslie.
Yeah,
Bethany,
maybe it's Leslie.
Sarah,
Cece. So the gift is a painting.
Aria.
A painting of a scene from the home movie we just watched. And then we're trying to think, okay, who have we seen in the show that's ever painted anything as a clue? And we couldn't think of any. If you guys can think of any, comment. Definitely.
Yep.
I feel like that's something that I'm sure has come up in the past. That would be a really good clue for them to throw in, like, seasons ago.
Right.
I don't know. There was, actually, it just hit me now, in Radley, wasn't Bethany the one who always did those drawings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bethany was an
artist. So there's that.
Yep. That's a good point.
I feel like I said this kind of when it happened. I feel like there's some significance to the fact that the gift was a painting. Like, the gift could have been anything.
Right.
I think it must have meant something that it was a painting.
Yeah.
And we talked about, do we think A knows who this gift is from and they just signed it like your friend? Or does he not know and they don't want him to know?
I have an even harder time trying to come up with who would have given him a gift like that, who he wouldn't have known who it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because A knows everything.
Right. I mean, who is A's ally that A isn't already using as an ally?
I don't know, unless, like, Aria is on the A team in the sense that she's, like, evil, but she hasn't let A in on the fact that she's, like, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, anything's possible. So, one thing that I've talked about before that just kind of bothered me is that in the video from the birthday party, we paused it and counted that there were 11 candles on the cake. So, presumably it's Charles's 11th birthday, which would make Jason about 9, which, if we were going by the original age gap of these kids, would have made Allison 2. That girl was not 2. She was probably like 5. So I don't know if they're just going back on the original, the age difference, basically. Maybe in order to make it work for their story, they've just changed it.
I wish they wouldn't do that. They need to be, like, very thorough with these things because people like us and, like, a lot of the fans, like, really count on these details to understand and to hypothesize.
Yeah, and to make stuff make sense. And it's not like we're misinterpreting vague stuff. Like, Jason was done with college at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Like, he had already graduated from college.
And in the original home movie, Allie was an infant. And
right, and the boys looked like they were about 4 or 5, so that would work for the age gap that they're showing in this new video.
But not for the original one.
Right, not for, like, the pilot.
And they're very weird about, like, saying characters' ages on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's supposed to be kind of vague. They never outright said, so-and-so is 25 years old or whatever. But saying so-and-so has graduated from college...
Yeah.
I think it's totally fair to assume this person is 22 years old, give or take a little bit. So that just really bothers me. Like, I feel like, especially on shows like this, where everything builds on each other, there has to be consistency. Okay, so that was the episode. We're getting close enough to the end that they're not really even showing, like, promos for the next episode. It's just like, the finale's coming.
Yeah, I don't even remember But we are seeing a lot of, like, very brief snippets of horrified prom reaction shots.
Yes.
So.
Interesting. And there were a lot of pictures from prom circulating on Twitter today. What else? As we hope everybody watching this knows, we are all in on the Ezra is Charles.
All in.
April gave a plethora of reasons why we think it's Ezra 2 videos ago. And so now we're going to just briefly outline some reasons why we think it is not Wren.
We had a request to talk about Wren.
Yes.
So we love requests.
Yay! It looks like, especially after tonight's episode, a ton of people think it's Wren. So what's your, like, number one reason you think it's not him?
Right now, my number one reason that I think it's not Wren is sort of similar to my number one reason that I think it's Ezra. It's because, to me, it doesn't make for a good reveal right now. I feel like he should have been in the season already. It's like classic horror suspense movie techniques, which we talked about a little bit on Twitter with one of our followers today.
Yeah.
They want to plant that seed to make it a good and worthwhile reveal.
Right.
They would have had Wren in at least 1 or 2 episodes, at least talked about Wren. Nobody has talked about Wren. At this point, if he is revealed to be Charles, it'll be like, oh yeah, like, where was Wren? Other than the fact that everyone thinks it's him, no one thinks about Wren. No, he's not on the show. I mean, it would be so random.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be a shocking reveal like it would be if it's someone who we've been watching this season.
Totally. And I honestly can't remember the last time his name was even mentioned.
Right.
Going back until last season when Spencer was in London, when we didn't even see him.
Yeah. And some could argue that, like, oh, he was doing his A thing, but it's like, okay, well, that's kind of lame if we don't see a character for seasons and it's because he was being A.
Right.
Like, well, what's the point of that? He's supposed to be sneaky but always around at the same time, you know? And I don't know. Also, Keegan Allen, our fave cop, did the interview with People that we talked about, where he says, I wish I had the quote in front of me.
I'll try to find it.
Yeah, Hanna will add it. He says, yeah, I know who A is. And then he kind of laughs. He's like, man, when you guys find out, you know, everyone's going to freak out. You're going to be able to look back at the whole series and be like, wow, like it was there the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that is not Wren.
Yeah.
Like, I would never look back at the whole series and be like, oh, yeah, like, Wren was that sneaky guy the whole time. Like, he's really been in a total of not that many episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of weird, but, like, who isn't on this show?
True.
For me, like, really the only characters that I would look back and say that to are one of the liars, like Arya, or, you know, or Ezra. I mean, I would look back and say, like, oh, yeah, duh, of course it was Ezra. He was, like, sneaky the whole time. He was always there.
The only other person who I feel like I would be like, oh, and I could maybe connect dots was Toby. Because, you know, he was A for a little while. He was on the A team. So I guess I could be like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
But even, like, Caleb, he's been there the whole time. And, like, he's a hacker and this and that. But, like, I would
think that he and Hanna, their love story is too...
Totally agree. I would be shocked and, like, really... This is going to sound so cheesy, but, like, I would be hurt if it was Caleb.
Yeah.
I would be so disappointed.
No, I like them too much. And I know people feel the same way about Arya and Ezra, but really, like, if you look at their relationship, it's not a wholesome relationship like Hanna and Caleb's.
Yeah,
like, not at all.
Ezra is such a weird power dynamic. I'm with you on that one. Something that just occurred to me right now is that, you know, Melissa has been pretty shady at times throughout the series, but it seems like at least recently she has had Spencer's best interests at heart.
Yeah.
And I think even some of the shady stuff she did at the beginning, she thought she had Spencer's best interests at heart.
Like burying whoever's body was in...
And as of right now, we are to believe that Melissa and Wren are living together in London. If Wren was like, hey babe, can you like tell everybody we're living together and I'm just gonna disappear for a while?
Right.
I really don't think that she would do that to protect him.
Yeah.
I think she feels more allegiance to Spencer than to Wren. And I think if she had any idea that he was the one doing this, she would not be like a co-conspirator.
I agree.
I don't think she would do that to Spencer.
He's also, like you've mentioned, the actor who plays Wren is doing other projects.
He's on multiple other TV shows.
I mean, A is like a very big role in this show.
Yeah.
So to not be around is kind of weird.
The only way that Julian Morris would be able to do other TV shows is if he doesn't have like an exclusive contract with PLL. Why would they make somebody who's like totally integral to the storyline, who they need to reuse, somebody who they don't even know if they're going to be able to get?
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. If we're to believe that Charles escaped Radley on the night that Allie disappeared, there's no way he would have come back 1 year later and been a doctor there. I mean, somebody there would recognize him, some staff member, some patient.
Yeah.
I mean, we're either to believe that all employees and patients were switched out within a year's time, or that no one recognizes him. I don't know. It's just, like, very weird. And going off that, the whole doctor thing, people are saying, like, well, A has, like, implanted things in Hannah's teeth and implanted these tracking devices, and only a doctor could do that. It's like, well, number one, if Charles was Wren, he's not a real doctor. If he escaped Radley and then came back a year later, there's no way he, like, went to medical school.
Right.
Number two, like, we just saw the girls take the trackers out of themselves. You don't have to be a doctor to do stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And we know for a fact that there are people still there who were there when he would have been there.
Absolutely.
Like, Big Rhonda was Bethany's roommate. And Bethany escaped when Charles escaped. So if they lived together, they must have been there at the same time.
He's not just going to come back as a doctor and, like, everything's, like, hunky-dory.
Right. And, like, he sat in on a meeting with the board.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way.
That's just crazy.
Shooting down your Wren theories left and right
guys.
here.
I mean, you know, I think it's fun to theorize. Like, you go if you think it's Wren. I just don't think it's that realistic. And then, do you want to just mention, like, a couple of the little circumstantial things that people have?
Oh, yeah. So before the episode, we looked up some Wren theories and Wren clues because we wanted to be able to talk about it. And, like, pretty much everything we found was, like, these surface level, like, well, we saw Wren drink vodka tonic and we saw A drink vodka tonic.
Right.
And what were some of the other ones?
Like, Wren was wearing board shorts in the pilot.
Yeah, except Ezra's board shorts.
Right. Wren is really neat and organized, and
and
lines up their hoodies
closet
in a really organized row.
I mean, if you guys, like, have better ones, please let us know.
Yeah,
but, like,
totally.
Everything we could find were these little surface level things. And for me, like, the clues, the ones that I brought up in the video about Ezra, they're much deeper than that. I feel like they connect more and it makes more sense to me. I also feel like, I mentioned this to Hanna, I think it's possible that the writers of the show throw in these little surface level clues relating to multiple characters just so people can theorize. And Wren is one of those characters. For me, it goes, like, way deeper for Ezra.
I agree. And also, you're really good at predicting this stuff. And, like, I trust you. I feel like you've put a lot of thought into it, and you have really good reasoning behind it. Like, Wren, I can see how maybe people would connect little dots, but I don't feel like it really amounts to much. Whereas hearing you lay it out, it just makes so much more sense to me. So I guess we'll see. I just really hope it's not somebody that we've never met before.
Oh my god. That picture that was going around Twitter today, what was the actor's name?
Justin Fix or something?
Yeah, it was a picture of him wearing a mask, and it kind of looked like his face was burned under the mask. He's at prom, and he and Allie are looking at each other. He's carrying a tray of drinks. And then next to it was a picture of the actor, and it had the actor's name.
Right.
So we kind of had a freak out moment, like, give me a break, this is not you're not introducing a new character and having that be A. There's no way.
Yeah.
And then we kind of quickly came to the conclusion that, like, well, no, maybe that's just, like, someone Allie's looking at.
Right, it's just a different character. You were talking a little bit about the surprised faces. You want to talk about that?
So there are a lot of pictures right now of the girls' surprised reactions at prom, and people are saying, like, are these the reactions to the reveal? And
the reveal of Charles.
The reveal of Charles. And kind of, you know, like going off the idea that that is their reaction to the reveal of Charles. For me, Emily in that picture has a very, very shocked reaction. Like, she just saw the most shocking thing that she's ever seen in her entire life.
Granted, Emily does have a great shocked face.
She does.
But with that said, I feel like that would not be her reaction to Wren being revealed as Charles. Or some random person we've never seen.
Right. Their faces alone, to me, tell me that that's someone we know. They're all pretty surprised, but Emily especially is so shocked, and I can't even think of more than a couple times when Emily and Wren have had an interaction on the show.
Yeah.
I don't feel like she would be that shocked if it were Wren. I feel like she would be that shocked if it were Ezra. She would be that shocked if it were someone who she spent more than 5 minutes with.
Right.
But not Wren. I feel like you said, I feel like she'd be like, what? It's this guy? Like, that's weird. And then turn to Spencer like, what? Don't you know him?
Yeah. And if it was somebody that they all didn't know, they would look confused, not shocked.
Not shocked. Emily was like blown away. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of telling. Also in the picture, I looked at Aria, and Aria kind of like, I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but to me, her face is like a little bit pained / a little bit like, okay, I'm trying to look like I'm shocked.
It didn't look that surprised to me. Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is kind of random, but like, damn, is he good at faking a British accent if that's not really him?
That's a good point.
Woo.
That's a good point. Yeah, guys, it's not Wren. I'm sorry, it's not.
How mad will you be if it's Wren?
I will be mad. And not because I'm wrong, but because I don't think that's a good reveal.
Yeah, I agree.
Not at all. They would have to explain a lot of things.
Yep. Agreed.
Not the least of which being, like, why is Ezra such a creepy weirdo if he doesn't have anything to do with this?
Right. Okay, so that's it for tonight. That was a fun discussion. Really enjoyed the episode. So much cool stuff happened. I'm sure a lot of you guys are really pumped for the finale, so I don't have to explain to you how excited we are, but we're really, really, really excited.
I took the day off work.
Yeah, you did. We are gonna have like an all-day long PLL extravaganza. I'm so excited. But before we go, we have a little favor to ask you guys. So now that we've gotten some repeat commenters and people who seem to be digging the videos, we're like really excited that you guys are liking them. We're having a lot of fun doing them. But we feel like we need a name for ourselves. Like, Hanna and April need to be a thing. So we want to know if you guys have any ideas for what we can call ourselves. You know, there's like Bros Watch PLL 2 is one, Cabaret and A is a podcast, there's Pretty Little Vlogger on YouTube. So we need a name. So if you guys have any ideas, leave them in the comments. Maybe we can do something fun for the person who comes up with the best idea.
Totally.
We have a couple ideas ourselves, but we want to see if you guys have anything cool and creative. So leave those in the comments. Leave any comments about your theories, our theories, anything about the videos, suggestions, ideas for videos we can do, like when the show is on break between 6A and 6B, like whatever. We love reading your comments. We try to respond to as many as we can. Speaking of which, we wanted to give a shout out to a handful of people who have been commenting on the videos and have just been overall very pleasant. We were tweeting up a storm today with a couple of our video viewers, which was super fun. So if you guys want to tweet at us,
love being distracted during the day.
I'll put our names down here. You guys can follow us on Twitter and tweet us to your heart's content about Pretty Little Liars. So today we were talking to Simona, I hope I said that right, sorry if I didn't, and Jeffrey and Kathy commented on a bunch of the videos. Thank you guys, you're awesome. Sarah has shared a bunch of my videos, well, our videos, which is awesome. And then a couple of, these are YouTube usernames, but Vava Voom, Cheesecake, Sharon, Tokyo, Kalia, XOXO, Roberta, Darla, JKMJRP123. Thanks for the positive feedback. You guys are awesome. Keep it coming. And our most exciting comment of all time, Charles De Laurentiis commented on our video.
He commented on our video.
He said, what did he say?
He shot down my theory.
Yeah, he was like,
he just
I am
flat
not...
out was like, I am not Ezra. I am Charles De Laurentiis, Allie's older brother.
We're like, whoa, okay, buddy. But
I like seriously laughed out loud when I read this,
awesome.
and then I went to his page. Thank you, Charles. That was lovely.
And then we've had a couple of haters, but we're not going to give them any press. And you know what? You can hate on us all you want, because we are fabulous.
Just don't hate on Donut.
Never. How dare they? Donut was not in the video today because he was feeling a little under the weather,
He's
but
having a hard time, my baby.
he will be back.
For sure be in the finale video.
Oh, no question.
Being unmasked as Charles.
Dude, I wonder if they sell like doggy hoodies. We need to
Oh, he
get
has
one.
one. He has one, but it's red.
Oh,
They do. It's American Apparel. I'm sure they have a black one.
we should buy it.
He
for
doesn't
him.
like it. He doesn't like to wear clothes. He's
Not
a nudist.
surprised. Be free. Cool. So, I know April said this at the beginning, but I just want to say again, I'm really sorry that the videos have been late. I'm having computer problems, but hopefully this week they'll be solved and I can keep up to date with all the editing and getting them out on time. So thanks for being patient. I'm sorry. I know it's annoying. But yeah, we're going to call it a night. So have an awesome week. We will see you next week. And any last words?
Nope.
All right, then good night.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching. We hope you liked the video. Leave a comment with your theories or any thoughts on our theories. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for new videos every week.